Live. All right, folks. It looks like we're live. Welcome to Gamcast for Saturday evening, folks. Here to talk tonight about the latest injunction from the Supreme Court relating to immigration. You see the headline here from the Hill. The Supreme Court halts latest wave of Alien Enemies Act deportations for now. It's being trumpeted as a victory. Huge victory by the left, and a lot of people on the right, including myself, are a little disappointed in the Supreme Court. But actually, I have a slightly different opinion. I wish they'd go about it differently, but I think this is actually going to be good news, and I'll explain why here. But let me first explain the basic point here, what's going on. First and foremost, this is a very limited injunction, okay? This only applies to a group of Venezuelans who are in I believe it's a North District court case in Texas. They're part of the Trinidad gang. And so it's limited to a putative class of about 100 people, maybe 150 people. So this is not stopping all the other Alien Enemy Act cases there. And again, the left is screaming this is a big victory. It's not. And I'll talk to them about a minute about what's going on here. But before I do that, I want to debunk something else that's out there that people are talking about, well, they deserve due process. Due process, everybody deserves. If you get to America, get it before a court. That is nonsense. Due process just means the process that you're due. If they were to try to deport an American, it would be next to impossible, by the way. But if they were, they would owe you a lot of process, right? If they tried to deport someone who's here on a visa, such as somebody who came from Europe, who went and got a passport stamp. Same thing if you went to England or Ireland or any other country, you get a passport stamp. You are not illegal, but you're not a citizen, but you have a lot more process. If they were to try to do something, for example, if you broke the terms of your visa, you'd get a lot more process. If you are here illegally, you have zero process. I mean, we don't even know if you're part of a military invading force. This whole idea that you get process, that's the only process you're due, is to be carted up, taken to a plane, and humanely taken out. Now, you always have habeas rights. What are those? Those are the right to be heard about your being put in criminal detention or deported, right? You always have those, but they're very limited, and you have to get to a court to do it. The court can't come get you. You have to go to the court and get it. It's not that easy to do. Of course, for these people it is, because they got all these groups helping them, but that should clear all that up. Now, when you come to the Alien Enemies Act, you got one more problem for these illegals and for the fascist Democrats who support them. And that is, under the Alien Enemies Act, if the president declares there's an invading force, and he has with respect to Venezuela, El Salvador, some of these other countries, he says these gangs are invading our country, right? If he does that, then you have even less process than a normal illegal. So A, you're here illegally, so you have nothing other than habeas to prevent us from deporting you. Number two, these particular people have been declared enemies of the state, which is, as the Supreme Court has said, I think they're going to say it again, is not reviewable by judges. If it were, you'd have an invading force, and judges would have to come in and go, oh, well, you can't do something to this person. Well, you can't do that to this person. Well, I don't know. We get process. It's complete insanity. And let me tell you why this is not so bad. First and foremost, it only applies to 150 people, not all the other people that Mr. Trump is trying to deport. Number two, okay, I don't think there's any chance that this court is going to come in and say, hey, by the way, we've looked at everything now, and we're going to keep the stay in place because we think these people have rights. That's not happening, folks. What I believe is going to happen is the Supreme Court's going to come in 6-3. I hope that he gets some of the fascists, but we probably won't, and say, look, this is not reviewable. Stop issuing these injunctions. Knock all this stuff off, or we're going to get involved. I think you're going to see something good come out of this, and here's why I believe you're going to get it. One, look at the order itself. This is an application on behalf of a putative class of detainees. There's no putative class. This matter is currently pending before the Fifth Circuit. No, it wasn't. You got to look this up. The Fifth Circuit had denied the injunction because they only gave the Trump judge 42 minutes to issue an order before they appealed it. But here's the important thing, and the Fifth Circuit pointed this out. You can't just give somebody 42 minutes and then come running to us. Give the judge a chance to rule on your motion, and then we'll hear it, right? But here's the point. As the district court said in the lower decision, which is why he was not going to restrain the government states that authorities will not remove the petitioners during this litigation, and it will alert the court if that changes. Here's a bombshell. So what the government, Trump said is, hey, listen, they're before this court. It's a Trump judge. They feel like they're going to get a fair shake. They said, hey, we won't remove anybody pending, and if we change our mind, we'll let you know. So the judge had perfect time, if he wanted to revisit and issue an injunction. If not, the Fifth Circuit understood that, and the Supreme Court obviously understood that as well. So why issue the injunction? The only logical reason to issue the injunction and then issue it, which they will now issue an order on this case, is to say, hey, look, folks, knock it off. This is Alien Animus Act. You have no business getting involved in this. I don't want to see any more of these nationwide injunctions either. They need to be limited to the court where they are, et cetera, et cetera. I think you're going to see something good come out of that. But anyway, a little bit of an unusual case, but I think it had the court done what Thomas and Alito wanted because they dissented, then they would have just said, hey, we're not taking it. We're not issuing an injunction, and it wouldn't have been a long order. So I think we're going to see something good come out of this. Anyway, I hope this covered a little bit of the confusion out there. And if you enjoyed this material, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Subscribe is very important. And if you do, you will see me on the next one.